if he's only a singular person, then he's not God. He's insufficient.
God creates things for himself. So that's because he's one. So he creates things. If he's already three, he wouldn't need to create anything. He can just indulge it.
You're right. He doesn't need to. So I got you. So you're saying since Allah is only one,
yeah,
then that means he needs to create?
Well, according to his, otherwise he would not. Why would he create something if he doesn't need or wants?
Assalam.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
There you go. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm blessed by the Lord, man. Thank you I appreciate you for showing up. What's your contention?
Excuse me?
What's your contention?
Well, I'm a Muslim and I studied Christianity, but Trinity to me is illogical. Doesn't make sense. Yeah.
But Tawheed makes sense to you?
Yes, basically God is one and one in existence. And if you read Kalam, cosmological argument, it makes sense in that.
He's one what?
He's one in existence.
What do you mean one in existence?
One entity, one divinity, one.
Okay.
One.
I believe the same thing. So what's the problem with the Trinity?
Because when you say there are three persons, you're creating this, idea that God has to be in three ways or there's no other way. And it logically doesn't make sense.
I think that it's logically necessary for him to be multi-personal. I think that if he's only a singular person, then he's not God. He's insufficient.
God creates things for himself. So that's because he's one. So he creates things. If he's already three, he wouldn't need to create anything. He can just indulge it.
You're right. He doesn't need to. So I got you. So you're saying since Allah is only one, then that means he needs to create?
Well, according to his, otherwise he would not. Why would he create something if he doesn't need or wants?
Are you a Sunni Muslim?
I am Sunni Muslim, yes, but if you're gonna bring up hadiths, I don't follow all of them.
No, I'm not gonna bring up hadith. I just wanted to make sure I got you. So, okay, this is the 27th. I've just been like marking down the different things that Muslims been saying to me this year that I've heard that has been
it's our understanding. God did not
you said
reveal his
I got you
intentions per se.
Allah because he's one needed to create.
Need word might not be appropriate here. That was a slip of a tongue. I would say wanted to. It was.
Oh, I don't think that it was a slip of a tongue at all. I think that you're actually accurate. If Allah is one person, he would need to create. You're right. I can show you why you're right. You want to see?
Oh, I would say he would not create otherwise. I would say this. We don't understand God's nature, but if you just think as human being, because they say that human being have somewhat, according to Christianity, you say God's like.
Let's progress it this way. In the Quran, a lot of times you see Allah speak in the plural of him, speak of himself in the plural. He says, "We and our and us" a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Well, that's really known fact. It's a royal we, and that's a known fact. It's not really
a royal we. What is the royal we? What is that?
It's when somebody is signifying his might. It's like a king would, you don't talk like regular people.
No, you're right. He's signifying his might.
Yeah.
Right. So you're saying it's mighty. It's mighty to appear as plural. Right? It's more mighty to appear as a plurality. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, you can just say that if they're like 10 people versus one person, who's going to have more power?
Man, that's interesting. So Allah, in order to appear more mighty than he really is, he refers to him in the plural to signify his mightiness, because it's more mighty to be plural rather than singular.
It's just a literal device to,
to signify his majesty, right?
Yes, it's a literal device to signify his majesty. Yes.
So it's more majestic to be plural rather than singular, right?
Wouldn't say that. Like, for example, a king would say, "We are, coming," something like this. It doesn't mean he's trying to say that,
it displays his majesty. The plurality displays more majesty than singularity does. Being plural signifies more majesty than being absolutely singular. Is that right?
In a literal, like in a, what do you call it, in a speech, you could say yes.
So this is my thing. In Islam, when it comes to Tawheed, your God has to pretend to be more majestic than he is.
Not pretend, no. This is wrong.
No, it is. I know, but I have to be blunt with it. So forgive me. I'm just being a little blunt. But he has to act or appear as more majestic than he is, while the triune God just is. He's that majestic because in his own nature, he's plural. So he doesn't have to doesn't have to be a royal we. It doesn't have to do something to signify his majesty, because he already is plural.
Okay,
so he doesn't have to pretend.
So even if we let's take for just for the sake of argument, let's say there are three persons of God. Let's say there's Father, a Son, and a Holy Spirit. Let's say that, right? If individual, like let's say Father is speaking in this way, he would also call himself we, even though he might be talking about himself. Like Father sent his Son, the we send our Son. In if you're talking in a royal sense, that's how the language is. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, it's not, and he never says that. No, that's not how it works.
Well, in Old Testament, it's Elohim, right? Does it or doesn't it? What?
Do you get what I said?
Well, I'm just trying to see you're saying that he's trying to make it into a multiple person.
Yeah, you said this is what I need you to pay attention to. What you say. You said that it is more majestic to be plural rather than singular. That's what you said. This is what the plural of majesty is.
In a language. Yes. Yeah, in a language is different, right?
But this is what your God is demonstrating himself to be. He's coming off as if he's plural to signify his majesty. But he's not plural. So he's not really as majestic as he's coming off. If he's plural, then he truly is that majestic, like Yahweh is, like the Trinity. The Trinity, the triune God, doesn't have to come off as majestic. He is that majestic. That plural of majesty, he doesn't have to pretend to be that. He doesn't have to appear that way.
So let's say if Father is alone by himself, is he majestic or not by himself?
The Father, that's impossible. That's like saying Allah without his knowledge. You see how like nonsensical that is? The Father cannot be separated from the Father cannot be separated from the Son and the Spirit, bro. There is no Father by himself, Spirit by himself. But let's go to the next phase of showing you why what you said earlier, right? That because Allah is only one person, not just one entity, just like one person, that he needed to create. Let me show you why. Let me ask you this.
Needed was a slip of a tongue. It was he wanted to create. He willed to create because he was.
I know you're saying you're retracting it, which is okay. You can retract that. However, I'm holding on to it because I'm going to show you that what you said, although may have been a slip of the tongue on your part, but actually was correct. Matter of fact, I don't even think that it was you that said that by yourself. I believe that it wasn't flesh and blood that revealed to you that if Allah was only one person, he would need creation. I think it was my Father in heaven who revealed to you that if Allah was only one person, he would need creation. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you how.
But before we go, if I ask you a question about the word father, will you be able to answer after this? We will, or is it just about this?
Depends on how much time I have. If I have enough time, then we can. If not, your name is Aslam Khan. Come on Wednesday, and we can continue. Okay. You'll be priority. If you come on time, I'll make sure you're priority. All right. Okay. So, would you say that Allah is loving?
Yes, definitely. The most loving.
The most loving.
Yeah.
Got it. No love compares to his.
Well, even according to Hadith, a mother's love is even way less than, God's love.
Nice. Okay. I got you. Okay. All right. Let me ask you this then. Since God's love is greater than anyone else's love.
Yes.
All right. I got you. And it's greater than even a mother's love.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Is it a greater love? Which form of love is greater? If you just love yourself, which is okay, you can love yourself, take care of yourself, right? If you love yourself, or if you share your love with another, which form of love is greater?
Yeah,
selfish love or just shared love? Sharing love?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So sharing love is greater than, let's say, a selfish love where you just love yourself only. Got it. Okay. Now, to have a shared love, that requires at least two parties, right?
Yeah, in a human way. I know where you're going, but okay.
It's not even in a human way. It's just period. Shared love requires two parties in order to have shared love, right? One gives their love to another and vice versa. That's shared love. That form of love is greater than selfish love. All right. So the greater form of love, since God's love is greater than anyone's, then God at the very least, has to have within his own essence shared love without depending on anyone else.
Before time, we don't really. That's something that I don't know. I can't comprehend that.
You can't comprehend it. For example, you believe that Allah is only one person, right?
Yes.
Before there was any creation, before there was any angel, any jinn, any human being, right?
Yeah, I see where you're going. I'm just saying I can't comprehend that. I don't know if he was loving himself or something else, or loving the concept of creation.
That's the only thing he could do. The only thing he could do is love himself. Now, let's say he's loving the concept of creation, right? Let's say he has creation in his mind, and so in his mind he loves creation. So still then, but that's not a shared love because one, that creation is not in existence yet to share for him to actually give that love to creation. And for creation to also give that love back to God, right? Yeah. So that's not there. It's only a potential there. It's potential, but it's not reality yet. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and love is not just a concept. It's reality, right? It's, what you do for others, right? So for God to, be God, right? He has the greatest love. His love, at the very least, it's higher, but at the very least, he at least has to have shared love within his own essence, without depending on creation.
Yeah.
However, Allah can't, right? Because Allah can only love himself, or because Allah is only one person, he would need creation in order to have a greater form of love.
Physical, yes, but if you say he loves the concept, that's different.
So this is I'm just showing you, my brother, that you are right, and it was my Father in heaven who revealed this to you. It wasn't yourself. It wasn't flesh and blood. If Allah's only one person, then he is dependent on creation. He needs creation because he can't have shared love without it.
Well, you can say the love started after the creation was before that he was,
The love started after creation, right?
Logically it would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So his shared love begins once creation is created, right?
Yeah.
So Allah is dependent on creation to have shared love. He can't have shared love within his own self.
Yeah, but see, according to Islam, before human beings were created, there were angels and there were jinns, and so
I'm talking about before that. Angels and jinns are part of creation. Do you agree?
yes, they were created. Now I don't know when they were created. Were they?
I know you don't know when. It doesn't matter. We're just talking about they are part of creation.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm saying is creation period, not just human beings.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know the answer. It's something.
Well, there is no answer, brother. There is no answer. It's very simple. Allah, in order to have a greater form of love than shared love, than selfish love, he is dependent on creation. He cannot have a greater form of love by himself. He can't do it.
Okay, I mean something to think about. So can I ask my question if you have time?
Wait, but let me tie the knot. Tie the knot. Okay. I'm showing you the contrast. So if Allah's one person, then he's not self-sufficient. He's insufficient and dependent on creation. If God is triune, then he doesn't need creation to have shared love.
Why would he create that?
He doesn't need to. But his creating is out of love, even for his own creation. For him to create us, for him to create me, let me just say it like this. For God to even think of me and to bring me into reality, to experience his goodness and his grace, his mercy and his loving kindness, his unmerited favor, his character, it's such a benefit. It's not a benefit to him. I appreciate that. Thank you for bringing me into existence to experience you, God. That's my attitude. So
God needs to be a Trinity he needs to be Trinity to love himself.
Well, notice him needing to be triune is not him needing anything outside of himself. He's relying on it's his own nature. You get what I'm saying? That's almost like saying God needs to have knowledge in order to be all knowledgeable.
I'm trying to say Trinity is God. You say it's the one God, right? So still isn't it like self-love if Trinity is one God, because that's what you say.
The reason why it's not just selfish love, but it's shared love and cooperative love is because there's multiple persons within the essence of God that is fellowshipping together and communing together, coexisting together, and giving that love and sharing that love with each other and reciprocating that love to the same level. That's how that's done in the Trinity. In the Trinity is love. That's why our Bible says God not just is loving, not just has love. The Bible says that God is love in his very nature. So at the very core, at God's in his essence, there is a communion and a fellowship of love between the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. You don't have that with Allah. So the triune God, the God of the Bible, doesn't depend on anything outside of himself to have a greater form of love than humans. But Allah does. He's dependent.
All right. Well, something to think about. I will, ask questions to my Muslim friends.
Mm-hmm. All right. Look, hold it. So you wanted to ask about the Father. I promise you, because I do have to go. Because I usually stop at 3 hours, but I stayed enough for you. Okay. But come Wednesday, I'm live. I don't know what your time frame is, but I'm live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Wednesday. Okay. Yeah. Come back Wednesday, and you can ask. You wanted to ask about the Father or something, right? So remember that question. Maybe write it down and come bring it.
I remember.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. All right, bring it Wednesday. Okay.
Okay. See ya.
All right. Take care. God bless.